Let me take you dancing.
Yeah. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. It's me. It's Nelly. Say hi, Nelly. Say hi to everybody, Nelly. And we got Greg Erlanger. Nelly is our visual hook for the day, and we'll be talking a lot about visual hooks. And I know Greg is going to endorse this one. Greg, you got any suggestions here for involving our dogs in our visual hooks?
I love the fact that you did grab people's attention, and that's what we're dealing in, the currency of attention. So good job.
That's right. This isn't even my dog. This is an office dog today. Nelly decided to come in for Ultimate Prospecting Day, and Nelly is now ready to go. So that's good. So we can start. Well, welcome everybody. Happy to be with you. And we've got a great summer series webinar that's beginning right now. We're going to jump into content that converts, video strategies that get you paid. It's one thing to create great content. It's one thing to create silly content, fun content, entertaining content, informative content. But it's another thing to create content that actually converts. And so what you just saw, although it was silly, was an example of something that captures someone's attention. Having a dog, for instance, in a video instantly captures someone's attention. That's actually known as a visual hook, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. But before we jump in, for those that are not familiar, my name is Jeff Glover from Detroit, Michigan. I've been listing and selling real estate now for 24 years, and I know a lot of you are going to be chatting with us today. We want to see where everyone's from, but before you throw in the chat where you're from, change hosts and panelists to everyone because it automatically defaults to hosts and panelists. So there's a little blue box there. Change that from hosts and panelists to everyone so everyone can see where you're joining us from today. Also, let us know if you're a first timer. So put your city, state, or city and province. If you're a first timer, just put dash first timer after that. We love seeing all of our first timers. A lot of Florida in the house today. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Canada, there we go. There's our first Canada. West Coast, couple West Coasters. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. And I know a lot of you are going to end up watching the replay either on YouTube or you're going to end up watching or listening to the replay on the podcast. So welcome everybody. So great seeing everyone. I know we also have a workbook. They'll throw that in the chat as well. Take advantage of that workbook because there's a bunch of free resources in there. So first things first, I want to make sure you're aware of who we are and why it would make sense to pay attention to what we have to say today. Because at the end of the day, you turn on your laptop or you open up your phone and everyone hosts a webinar. Everyone's a webinar host today. So who do I follow? Who do I listen to? Well, let me share with you, if you don't already know, Glover U is a broker agnostic training and coaching organization. That means we have agents and leaders from all brokerages represented in our audiences. In fact, if you get the chance to come to one of our bigger events where we've got over 1,000 attendees, you're going to meet people from every single company that you could imagine. And we believe in that because we believe that not one agent from one company has it all figured out. So masterminding is a big thing that's important to us here at Glover U. Also, for those that are not familiar, I'm still in the trenches with you. Greg is still in the trenches with you. We both lead large teams. In fact, Greg he co-leads the #1 home selling team in the state of Ohio of all brands. I lead the #1 home selling team in terms of volume in the state of Michigan of all brands. And we've got a great group of leaders behind us making that happen. But at the end of the day, we would not both be where we are today if it weren't for the level of marketing that we do in each of our respective states. So before we get into today's topic, I want to make sure you're taking advantage of some free resources. Number one, the #1 most popular resource that I'm told we have today is the daily message, okay? You can access the daily message for free. Just take out your cell phones and open up your text message. I'm going to give you access to the daily message. By the way, for those of you that are receiving oh, did we freeze? Frozen. You can still hear me. All right, maybe we'll be back. Greg, you can hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, maybe we'll be back. All right, I don't know why it's frozen. We've got like high-end Wi-Fi back here. I guess we're going to need higher-end Wi-Fi. Anyways, I'll let Greg do most of the talking in a second, so it won't matter that I'm frozen. We'll just pretend we're on a podcast for a minute, okay? So here's the deal. The daily message. Every day, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, I'm writing a message that's specifically designed to help you list and sell more real estate. Sometimes it's a marketing message. Sometimes it's a prospecting message. Sometimes it's, hey, I went on an appointment last night. Here's an objection I got from a seller. Here's how I handled it. Sometimes it's like, for instance, literally 5 minutes before I walked in here, Greg, I know you'll appreciate this. I just had a closing finish up on the other side of this wall, And I asked both of the buyers for their Instagram handles. I said, I'm going to follow you. Make sure you follow me back. I made them take out their cell phones and follow me back right there at the end of the closing. We got a photo with, one of those big keys, the classic real estate photo. But I said, I'm going to tag you and add you as a collaborator in my post. So you won't have to do anything. I'll help you do the announcement. And they said, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about stuff like that throughout this webinar. But anyways, where I'm going with that is every day I'm writing a message designed to help you list and sell more real estate. And it's completely free. Here's how you get your hands on it. Take out your cell phones, open up your text message. You're going to text the word morning to 55444. They'll also throw that in the chat for you. Text the word morning to 55444. And just like that, it's going to ask you your first name, your last name, your email. Boom, you're signed up. That's a Monday through Friday message. Take advantage of it. All right, this morning's message, I talked about how to increase our intensity on the biggest expired day of the month. All right, so take advantage of that. Again, you're texting the word morning to 55444. They dropped it in the chat. They shared it to hosts and panelists. It needs to be shared with everyone. All right, so we got it. Okay, good. Next is the Glover U app. All right, this is one of our bigger, newer resources because we drop a lot of tools in the app. Tools for you to use on a regular basis, marketing tools, social media tools. There's a lot of great options for you to take advantage of, and most of the stuff in there is free. We probably give away more free stuff than we've ever charged for. All right, super simple to find it. Just search Glover U in your app store. You'll be able to find that no problem. And then the third and last resource I want to share today is we just released our second half business plan. The same one that our team's going to use to sell over 1,000 homes this year, the same one that I'm using to personally list and sell real estate. We released it about 10 days ago at our retreat, our Live Unreal retreat in Traverse City, Michigan, about 10 days ago, and I'm gifting it to you for free. Now, unfortunately, if you weren't at the retreat, you didn't get the playbooks that follow it, but that's all right. At least you're going to get the plan. All right, so write this down. You're going to go to gloveru.com/halftime. That's gloveru.com/halftime. Halftime's all one word, gloveru.com/halftime. They'll drop that in the chat for you as well. Click on that link or copy and paste that link, and you'll have direct access to the exact same plan that I'm using in my business, the exact same plan that most of the Glover U clients are using from all over the US and Canada. Okay, so let's shift gears to what we're covering today. Greg, if you're not familiar, I've known him for a long time. Greg, we've probably known each other 7, 8 years now, close to 10 years, probably maybe 10 years.
Yeah, over 10. Over 10.
Over 10. All right. And I've always admired Greg from afar, even though, the state of Ohio touches the state of Michigan, but it's far. It's a far drive. It's 3 hours from Detroit to Cleveland. And I've admired, their business model. And I've admired how they've become the #1 home selling team in the state of Ohio. And what I've admired most, and the reason why you should pay attention to what he has to say today, is because they did the majority of it through marketing. Greg always jokes about how, Glover is the prospecting-based guy and I'm the marketing guy, and that's fine. I admit, yes, I definitely started my career with heavy prospecting. And then, of course, we got into marketing and we mastered all the things marketing that you need to know today. And I think that, when I look at Greg and his business and the trajectory of what they're on right now and how they're still winning, even though things have changed, winning with marketing at a high level, there's no one more qualified to share with you what he's got to share with you. So I'm glad you guys have joined us, and you're going to learn a lot in the next 45 minutes here or so. So Greg, why don't you take it away, my friend?
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeff. Yeah. The prospecting is extremely important, and really marketing can either be a sole asset that you lean on to grow your business. Not recommended. It's recommended you use personality-based sales, which is open houses and shaking hands and going B&I groups and just being that likable person in the community, right? That's prospecting-based sales. There's personality. Yep. Prospecting-based sales is what Jeff and Justin Ford and you guys just absolutely mastered and share with the world through Glover U. I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Marketing can either stand alone as its own asset, where you create marketing funnels through social media, YouTube, and brand development through billboards like you mastered, Jeff, marketing online, etc. Or even, believe it or not, postcards still do work. Marketing is a way that you can live in real estate for a long period of time. At Glover U, we teach all three. We help you master all three. And that's what gives you the staying power. That's how we've been number one in the state of Ohio since 2014 in one of the two categories. For the last 8 years, we've been in both categories of units and volume.
Yep.
And that's solely based on a marketing
Yep.
foundation that we built the team off of.
Actually, Greg, I want to mention your comment of staying power. Okay. There was a period of time, and you know this, where we were spending over $1 million a year on mass advertising. Watch. I haven't had a billboard, a radio, or a TV ad in the last 18 months, and still at least one out of every 3 consumers that we prospect or talk to says, oh yeah, I know the Glover team. Oh yeah, I know Glover Agency. It absolutely has a staying power and enhances anything else you do in your business.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the funnel's never, once you create marketing to even Jeff's point, even if the billboards come down, you still have mind share. I always do this with my classes. I do a fun thing. You can write it down on a piece of paper right now, just for fun. Close your eyes for a second. Don't try to write and close your eyes at the same time. It gets really messy, but close your eyes for a second and visualize the grocery store, right? You walk into a grocery store, how many ketchups exist, right? There's probably 20 to choose from, 10 to 20 to 25, depends. And I want you to write down the first 3 that come to mind. Okay, so do this right now, just for a second. Boom, boom, boom. Write the 3 down. Most of you most likely wrote down Heinz, or then followed by, I bet Goldman's didn't really pop up or anything, right? And you don't forget Hunt's, right?
Hunts. Oh yeah, Hunts. I always forget Hunts.
Right. So you forget things. If you're from Pittsburgh, you only thought of Heinz, right? Why is that? That's called mind share. You're owning their mind, and that's what marketing is really set out to do. So when Jeff came to me a while ago and said, hey, what's an area that you could live in for years and years to come? And I was a marketing minor from Ohio University, not Ohio State, but Ohio University. It's a MAC school. Go Bobcats for the 2 people on here that went there. And I said, marketing is the most overlooked, underrated, long-term solution for realtors to have staying power, in my opinion. Right. So realtors come in and they immediately jump on the phones. They call their database and they get into business. And so somebody calls, says, I want to look at houses. I want to look at, will you come list my house? And that takes precedent and priority over creating a strong marketing foundation for their brand that will live well beyond this next listing or this next buyer you're about to run in your car. And I also believe, and I told Jeff this, I think most realtors set it aside. They do it later. And I'm asking everybody today in this moment to consider doing it now. Actually start your foundation in your business. You all run small businesses. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur and you're on a team, or you're an entrepreneur, rainmaker, running a team, or if you're a broker owner. You have to have a marketing team, and you're it. If you're a small business, you are the marketing department. There is no Fortune 500 company that doesn't have a marketing department. Even Costco, that does not market, that's how they give you great cost and everything. Even they have a marketing team. And that marketing team protects the fact that they don't market. But you still know exactly what the Costco logo looks like. Why is that? They have your mind share. They know they have a purpose and a point. Do you have a marketing team? You're it. And I'm going to help everybody from start to finish understand how to create the most basic, unique value proposition, understand your differentiator, communicate it to the community that you're targeting, actually have a marketing strategy around who you're targeting and why. Dominate an area, dominate a condo complex, dominate a genre of home buyer, meaning lakefront buyers, boaters, golf course community folks, downsizers, and first-time home buyers, college rentals, commercial. I mean, understanding that is how you begin the marketing process. But today we kind of jumped to the end because it's the sexy stuff and we knew you'd be excited about it. Yes, we're going to talk about AI, the distribution channels of social media from YouTube to Instagram. We're going to knock it out as quick as we can in the next 44 minutes.
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here. Okay. Right now, all right, I can only see, okay. Let's see. Okay. There we go. So Jeff, can you see the content that converts full screen?
We can see it, not full screen yet though. No.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to just go ahead and do it this. Is it okay? Is it too distracting if I just do it this way with the slides down the left side?
I think you're okay like that.
Okay. All right, cool, cool, cool. So let's get to it because the content's the sexy stuff. It doesn't matter if it's pretty. Yes, it's a marketing class, but you know what matters? Functionality and solving problems and answering questions. And that's what I'm able to do in this moment. So let's go. Here's me. I sold a whole bunch. Yay for me. This is just now I'll be honest, this is important. Anytime you sit in front of a client or an agent you want to recruit to your team, you have to build your validity. Any product set, any service is going to build their validity. JD Powers ranked 5 years in a row. Why do they do that? Are they pretentious? Are they braggadocious? No, they're building credibility and validity before they begin their argument. Every time you're in a listing presentation, you're creating an argument. You have to define the argument. And of course, it's an argument that you can win. You're not going to talk about your experience if you've only been in the real estate world for about a year, right? But if you've been in it for 20, the argument is whoever has the most experience is the best solution provider that you could hire, right? So even in this moment, as I begin this webinar, I do want you to understand that I've had over 20 years of success in real estate. I started in 2004. And my worst year in real estate at 8.6 million. And I did that through marketing. And then last year we did over 340 million in sales volume, over 1,000 homes sold, 3 billion in real estate sold. I've got an incredible team. The team I've got over 100 agents that utilize marketing-based strategies to build their brand and empower themselves inside a team, co-branding with the power of the Easy Referral Network, and then able to go out there and drive people to you. I use this horrible analogy, and I apologize, Jeff. I'm going to do it because it's honestly me, and my brand is unique and honest. But when we were in college or we were, in the bar scene per se, there'd be that guy that go around and you ask 100 people out or 100 girls out on a date. One of them would say yes. It works. That's prospecting. There'd be another guy that would walk in and he'd be all dressed up, work out, look all good, and that he would attract a mate. Let's put it that way, right? So that's marketing. So there's prospecting, there's marketing, both work. I like marketing. I would rather somebody call me and say, we're thinking about selling our house, because what is my conversion rate in that experience versus me calling somebody and going out? So it's about the conversion rate and it's about getting paid. So hopefully that would, now the other thing I do want to point out, I did launch Live Unreal Media with Adam Williams and Jeff. So really excited about that. That's how passionate I am about marketing and media, utilizing video, social media, editing those long form and short form videos on behalf of our Glover lovers out there that want to embrace this. So, and then I'm also launching an office in Toledo, Ohio, which is kind of brings me together with Michigan in a beautiful way. You got the UP and we got Toledo. I love Toledo. I think we won, but I'm sure others might disagree. Moving on. All right. So
as long as we can have Put-in-Bay back, I think we had the islands too. We get those back.
No, we get Put-in-Bay. Put-in-Bay's ours. All right. So here's my unapologetic. I'm doing something this moment. But I do want you guys to go subscribe to Glover U. You'd be crazy not to. The amount of free information that's out in the world today is unbelievable. If you are not utilizing YouTube in a massive way, whether for entertainment or educational purposes, you're crazy. And the best educational location I can help you find is at Glover U. The unapologetic brand development of Greg Erlanger says go subscribe to at Greg Erlanger. And I've got a purpose and a point here because I want you guys to understand that this is not unreasonable for me to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because in my opinion, there will not be a realtor in business 5 years from now that isn't doing the exact same thing. Ask yourself, if somebody is going to say, hey, I want you to find out about my real estate team or about me as a realtor, and they give you their website and they give you a YouTube address, which one are you honestly going to go to find out about that person? I don't think there's anyone out there saying website. I think everyone's going to the YouTube channel. Why? Because video is alive. It tells me who you are. I don't have to look at a static picture from 20 years ago. The reason
websites lie. Websites lie. Video is real. Websites lie. You can say whatever you want about yourself.
And think about it, Jeff. Static testimonials written on Zillow or Google or all that. I've got 500 reviews, etc. That's very important. Do not get me wrong. But wouldn't a video testimonial be a lot more credible and valid That's where we're going to go with video. And that's
Yeah.
what we want to get, that content that'll get you paid today. So subscribe to both of those. All my other handles are very easy to get to. It's free. So why wouldn't you subscribe? Again, what I'm doing in this moment is teaching you something. I'm teaching you that you need to be unapologetic and drive people to your social media channels. Problem: I would only say less than 50% of realtors even have a YouTube channel. And I just said they'd rather go to your YouTube channel than your website. So why do you not have a YouTube channel? And many folks say, I don't know where to start. That's exactly what Marketing Mastery is built upon. It allows you to understand who you are as a brand that's unique, that solves problems and answers questions, right? And then it tells you how to communicate it. So that's what Marketing Mastery is. At this point, if you have any interest in that as we go through this, just text marketing to 55444. You can ask any question, you'll get follow-up, you'll understand how the class works, and you're going to know what the curriculum is. We'll talk a little bit about more of that today, but we're going to get into the content right off the rip. So today we're going through content that converts, video strategies that get you paid. And what I want everyone to understand is there's a sequence to success. You don't get to just create a video, have a dog jump in your lap and say, boom, it's viral. It doesn't work that way. First, you have to create, it's sequential. You have to create an understanding of what your channel is about. Why would you turn on HGTV? You don't turn on HGTV to find out what the best recipes, well, no, you would on HGTV maybe, but you wouldn't turn on HGTV to figure out how to rewire a 76 Monte Carlo. That's not why you would go to HGTV. Why would you go to my YouTube channel? You're going to learn about coaching. You're going to learn about real estate. You're going to learn about Landlord Greg. I go fix things all around this old house kind of a thing. So that's what my channel is defined by. Once you have that, you can create fanatics for your brand, meaning they're excited about it. And with that, they start to talk to each other and you start to talk to them, which does what? It creates community. Success is sequential. So what we do is we create a brand, content ideas. Once you have a brand, how do you start communicating it? And a lot of folks say, Greg, I don't even know where to start. Where do I get content from? Once you have that content, you'll start creating short form video. And why short form? Short form is the attention span. I mean, we're looking at 3 seconds. If you're not grabbing people's attention, getting them interested in who you are within under 60 seconds, they're never going to watch 20 minutes with you interviewing somebody because you're not credible. They haven't bought into you yet. One of the things I can tell you, my own personal experience, comedians. I'll watch short form video of comedians, stand-up comics. And then when there's one, Matt Rife, you fall in love with that comedian, and then you subscribe to their channel and you consume all of their long form video. And truthfully, I believe that's how Matt Rife has gotten so strong. If you haven't seen him, he's hilarious. Check him out. Glover U short form video formula. We'll run through that. And then 6 content videos that convert. So we're going to get going pretty quick. Part of my brand is talking fast and getting through that. That's because I understand attention span is short. So I'm going to give you a lot of content. Get your pens out. Get ready to write. If you still have a pen, I'm assuming you have an iPad pen and you're not. No, I'm just kidding. But get your quills out and your paper. Here's the foundation. I like this visual representation of how and where you want to start. Again, you don't start with the viral video. You start with understanding what your brand is. And yes, you have to slow it down to speed up and get through this. I think people get stuck. They're like, okay, well, I want to create a video. They don't even know who their target audience is. They don't know why they're different. Glover U, we're grit. Think about when you think of Glover U, grit in the trenches. We are actually selling houses. Okay. That's what differentiates Glover U. And you'll hear Jeff talk about it time and time again. How are we different from other coaching companies? Well, one, we're the best, most charismatic, and I think we're the prettiest. But 2, we're gritty. Cleveland, Detroit, we sell units, we move product, we develop databases, relationships, and I think it's that grit and hard work that makes us special. It's why I love being a part of the brand. It's why I'm a Glover lover. It's why I'm a fanatic. I'm not excited about I'm not excited about just being a coach. I feel like I'm part of a community. I truly feel like I'm part of a family with Glover U. If you're not a part of Glover U and not following us, not coming to the events, you're nuts. But anyway, it's a community, and that's what you want to create within your own real estate brand. Hi, I'm a realtor. My name's Greg Erlanger. Great. That doesn't say I have a community you can be a part of. You have to open I keep doing this with my hands. And I don't know if you can see that, but I'm like, open your doors. Let them know where they can shop and buy your services from. You have to be the Heinz. You can't be the Goldmans. You want to be number one. I say fast food joints, somebody's going to think McDonald's, period. I'm not saying you like McDonald's, but you can't not think about it because they have your mind share. When I say, okay, name 3 insurance companies, you'll say Nationwide, State Farm, Farmers. Great. Now name 3 insurance agents. It's tough. And we're realtors. We should be able to do it pretty easy. Can you imagine how hard it is for people to name 3 realtors? You think it's easy because we live in this world. It's not easy. So if you scream and yell and develop a strong marketing plan, you'll be the one they think of. And that alone will help you get market dominance and wherever you're looking for. So create the brand, build the content, producing the content, lighting, microphones, editing, CapCut, all those different things that we talk about. Fans, then once you produce it, how do you create fans? A fan wants to know that you see them. Social media in general, write this down. It's one of the most powerful things I've heard before, is social media in all aspects is all about I see you, not look at me. I see you. I know what your pain problems are. I know what your questions are. Somebody's asking me, what's the difference between Romex and knob and tube wiring? How many layers of a roof is too many? I see you. So I'm going to answer those questions on my social media. And that's why my videos are not going to start out, hi, I'm Greg Erlanger with the Easy Sales Team at Keller Williams Realty. And today I want to talk about, there's no way that's going to work, right? But if I start out saying, you might be wondering how many layers is too many to put on a roof. So now what you've done there is said, I see you. So producing great content for your fans and answering them, commenting on them, all of the comments that come in on, I don't care if it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, if you're not replying to those comments, you're not building a fanaticism or a community around your brand. So that's like a little pro tip. I'm going to drop little nuggets as we go along here. One of the things that Adam Mosseri, who's the CEO of Instagram, has put out there or said is that people post way more photos, but people are way more interested in consuming videos. Realtors out there, listen to me now. I asked you all to follow my YouTube channel. I promise you I'm going to get 800% more friend requests through Instagram right now than I will subscriptions on YouTube. Why is that? Because realtors, in my opinion, bear with me, are lazy. Realtors are lazy. They don't know how to create the video. They're hiding behind 2D images from Canva, which is fine. It does work. Don't get me wrong. Just like Adam is saying right here. But the truth is, everybody really wants you to provide video because we want to consume video. People scroll hours and hours through TikTok and Instagram Shorts, Facebook. I mean, YouTube is where everyone lives. So
people post way more photos, but people are way more interested in consuming videos.
Yeah, that's a given. That's obvious though. Love it.
But people get mad. They think it's us. They think it's us putting our finger on the scale, trying to get into video. It's like, no, videos are just more engaging because they're moving and fun and there's sound. And so there's more demand for video than there is video to share.
Yeah.
That's important. There's more demand for video than there is video to share. So if you think that video's already been done, if every single person watching this webinar right now did a video on how many layers of roof is too many and why is it a problem? Well, you have foundational issues and that'll cause cracking and the door frames will start to go ajar and etc. If you all do a video on that, every single one of yours will be unique and different, and there still won't be enough video out there for them to consume. There will still be people looking for that answer, and they're going to be looking for it on Google, and shocker, as things continue to move, they're also going to be using Chat GPT to get answers to their questions. So I will say Google actually has a competitor for the first time in a long time. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. It's fascinating how many people are putting things into Chat GPT that they would normally put into Google.
Yeah, it's there is a shift. And until about a year ago, I never would have imagined that there's a shift. Now, understand too, if you don't know this, Google owns YouTube. So if you want to show up in your local search engines, you want to have a cheat code, we're all talking about search engine optimization, and you don't have a YouTube channel, it makes no sense. Why are you optimizing your website when you don't have a YouTube channel? Makes literally no sense.
If you believe in Google, then you have to believe in YouTube, because when you do Google searches today, one of the first things that always comes up, no matter what you're searching for, is videos. They're trying to drive as much traffic as they can to YouTube, which is obviously why we're here today.
Beautiful. So let's see here. So more watch time percentage equals more views. What I wanted to show on this one slide is the whole entire purpose of what you're doing is grabbing people's attention and holding their attention. We are dealing, I said this at the beginning of the webinar, we are dealing in the currency of attention. If you can get everybody to pay attention to you, you will have more opportunity than you can probably handle. There's a reason I have 100 agents. It's because the amount of business that comes through our marketing channels is more than my service levels. They would falter if I wasn't able to create leverage and start to distribute the leads out so that I can keep up with the amount of demand that comes through our marketing channels. So attention is what it's all about. And it starts with when people, I've just communicated that everybody wants video. Okay, I've got video. How do I create video? What am I creating? But when you create the video, how do we keep their attention? And how do we earn it in the first place? Jeff just started this entire webinar holding a dog. Boom, he got you. Do you know why he got you? He only had 3 seconds to get your attention. And I loved it because it started the webinar right away. There wasn't a 5 to 10 minute delay. It wasn't sort of a benign, dry startup. It's like, whose dog is that? And that was fun. It grabbed attention. And the other thing is Jeff was unafraid. He's unafraid and unapologetic to say, pay attention to me. That's literally your job in marketing. Every marketing company knows that. If they don't know your service exists, they will not use you. You've heard this before, but don't be an undercover agent. You have to get out there and let the world know. You have to let your database know, with whether that's prospecting, cold calling. One of my favorite things is when people start posting their successes. I always hear this. They're like, wow, it looks like you're doing really good. They're not doing any better than they did last year. It's just that they're now communicating and creating that perception of success in their database, and they're all becoming aware of it. And they're becoming aware of it because you're doing your job as a realtor and a marketing department of a small business, and you're communicating that success to others. So number one thing I think that stops people is they don't want to be seen as pretentious or braggadocious. You have to get past that, because if you don't tell your story, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
Short form video objectives. When we're creating short form video, you want to hold, and I'm going to go through this part of it really quick because the content that I have is beyond this, but I wanted to just help everyone understand the quickest way to get into content that will convert and create you money quickly, because I think that's what everyone's looking for right now. And marketing is a long game, but it's also a short game. I posted a video the other day. I know if you go on Glover U, look at their shorts on their YouTube channel, you'll see it. Talks about how I created, actually turned out to be $44,000 from one short form video that I did. One short form video, immediately got a lead that day, got both sides of that transaction and a referral down in Texas. So
that's awesome.
That was a short form video. So the objective of a short form video is to hold the attention long enough to communicate a key message and information. Hold their attention. It's all about attention. Highlight a specific topic, story, news article, and you want to create a series. I asked somebody, Seychelle Van Poel, actually down in Dallas. I asked her, I created a series called Landlord Greg, and it's just me in a hoodie driving a 20-year-old Astro minivan fixing things. And people love Landlord Greg. In fact, there was even a comment. Will posted something here in the comments. Notice how I called out Will. Will now feels connected to me. That's called creating community by engaging the comments that are coming through and everything. Will said, I want to see Landlord Greg's face. So people are more excited about him than they are Realtor Greg in the fancy suit. Why is that? Because that was part of my brand development to help people understand I'm just an approachable and real guy. I really hope you guys can see me still. Can somebody give me a thumbs up?
We can. Yeah, you're good. You're
Okay,
good. We're
okay.
just messing with my video. It's frozen, but it's okay.
Dude.
We don't need me, so we're fine.
All right, cool. Yes, we need you, Jeff. All right, convince the viewer to invest their time in your long form video or brand, right? And you're really trying to sell them on the idea that they should be spending time with you. Stay on brand with your content and stay consistent. So staying on brand, first thing is you have to understand your brand. And again, if you want to have a conversation about brand and what is my brand, how can I have a brand if I'm a part of a team? How can I have a brand if you can, and you can have an overall strategy. Or rainmakers, broker owners, your team members can. I love this example for brand, for all the brokers that are out there watching right now. Let's think of Target. Why is Target so successful? If I walk into Target, what brands can I find? Are they all generics? No, there's Tropicana, Masterlock, Swingline Stapler. Like, you're going to find Huffy. You will find quality brands inside Target. If you run a brokerage or a team, ask yourself, are the realtors on your team also strong brands that empower the overall retail service providing, real estate service providing company that you are. So there is absolutely a way for you guys to develop and create brands within a brand. 92% of people who watch video on mobile share it with others. Isn't the point here to expand your database? So if you create good quality content, say it's local, hyper local content for a specific niche that you've been focused on, like the boating community, doesn't it make sense for you to hit your target audience? And then when they share it, you start to become known and it spreads. And that's what going viral is really about. What we're trying to do is make our brand the most popular in the area. So I'm going to go through the really quick. I'm going to go through the 5 simple steps to creating a short form video. The first thing is a hook, right? And that's what Jeff did by having the dog right off the rip. He was getting the viewer's attention and now he needs to sustain it. And that's what I'm for. So essentially I'm like his secondary lapdog. No, that's not the right way. You know what I just did? Everybody picked their heads up from wherever they were doing. They looked at their monitors for a second. See, I grabbed your attention by being bold with what we say. Some people, you shouldn't use profanity, especially if it's against your brand, but some people have brand. If you're in the Bronx and you're sort of like that commercial I don't mean to be so stereotypical or whatever, but if cussing, profanity can grab people's attention. And one thing that it does is it shows genuine sincerity. I'm not going to have like a conversation around that because at the same point, it will turn off just as many people some people will become excited about it and trust you more. Other people will completely not trust you and turn it off. So always do a SWOT analysis on your brand and what you're doing, whether it's the way you dress or the way you speak, the speed in which you speak, the words you choose. All of that is going to define who you are. And a SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within your brand. So even if you already have a brand, joining Marketing Mastery, we're going to go through that with you, and you're going to define what markets you might be alienating just by making small tweaks. You can then engage them. So you cut out profanity. All of a sudden, you're still able to be genuine and authentic, but you've now included a large group of people that wouldn't work with you for that. So Jeff, do you like how I tied that all the way back and it almost made like a nice cohesive flow at the end there? All right.
It's like that's what comedians do. Nice work.
I didn't know I could find my way back, but I did. All right. So the hook, make the viewer believe the rest of the content will be valuable to them and do it in 3 to 5 seconds. There's different types of hooks. There's verbal hooks, visual hooks, a text hook, an audio hook, or a caption hook. And so these are some of the hooks that we go through. Jeff was nice enough to show us a visual hook that got our attention right off the rip. Here's another one, and we'll move on from there.
We've recruited over $1 million in GCI this year. Here's how.
Love Kathy. So that was a really good one. I'm going to pause there because you guys have seen a million of them as you're scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You've seen those. Another visual hook real quick, just because they're fun.
Real estate leaders and brokers are constantly.
You know what I like about both of those? Kathy was as sophisticated and polished as she is, unafraid to get a little bit risky and
uncomfortable. Out of her box, right? You don't think of somebody, for those that know Kathy, like this is not her nature to do any of this stuff.
Exactly. Well, and I love that. Now, what she does though is she got immediately into the information. Get quickly into your content. Start with surprising or interesting facts, a hot take on something. But once you've hooked them, you better hold on to them with some interesting facts and information. And then from that, as we are now all simply Pavlovian dogs, I don't know if you know about Pavlov's dogs, but scientists would drop a bone and the dog would salivate and eat the bone. And then he'd ring a bell. And then every time he rang a bell, he'd drop a bone, the dog would eat the bone. And then what they found was if he rang the bell but didn't drop the bone, the dog would still salivate, right? It's mental conditioning. And truthfully, that's really what social media has done to us. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, it's kind of sad as the way the state of society. It's kids, adults, everybody's consuming so much of this because we have this addictive nature. Now, we are still a marketing department. We are dealing with attention. You have to get to the front of the line and scream and shout and say, hire me, hire me, hire me. So we continue to use the same type of tactics that are being used on us today because everybody is conditioned this way. We're all conditioned to make our own opinion by going to Amazon and looking at the reviews, and we make our own selection of who we're going to hire. Amazon makes us go, no one calls us anymore and solicits us to sell other than prospecting, which we can do, which was it's a unique way to get business. The way we do it now is we go online, do our research, and the information we find, we make our decisions ourselves. We've been conditioned that way. And we're also conditioned to pay attention. Here's a hook, here's information, but immediately I'm already losing attention. So you better hold my attention again with yet another hook, and then the value to back up that hook. And then you get to the punch. You wrap it up. And you have to, this is the most important part, insert yourself as the solution to the problem or the conversation you're having. If you want to know the value of your home, DM me below. And when you do start talking about at the punch, the call to action at the end, include a call to action. One of the more creative ways to do a call to action is share this with a friend that might be looking to buy or sell. It's less desperate in a way. Comment if you have any, comment your favorite, ask for engagement, ask for them to say, do you like Lowe's or Home Depot better? I did one of those videos, opinion videos. People love to give their opinion. So throw that.
Let less DM me or reach out to me, because when they reach out to you privately, you don't get the exposure that's not going to help your post get the exposure you need. So just to recap, it's hook, information, and then punch, which is call to action.
Call to action. And if you want to take your phones and click this QR,
that's great. Yeah,
that
that's
will
a great
get you
tool.
the short form video. So a nice little free piece of information for you.
Scan that QR code. That will help you with writing them out. We use that same tool, Greg, with our team. For those that follow us, obviously our agents are doing a lot more video today because we've been practicing what we preach. And this is how we teach them to write out great copy. This is a great worksheet to use.
Perfect. All right. I'll go back to that here. Well, let me just hit this. And then if you have your phones out and you're like, oh man, I just missed it, please don't put it in the text, because I know that. By the way, number 4, somebody did ask value. Again, after you have the third hook, then you have value info, then you have the punch. Somebody was asking. Okay, so there's more to it than just following the formula. The content has to actually be helpful or entertaining or interesting. So I always like to ask myself, but who really cares, Greg? You created a video, who really cares? And if it's not entertaining, if it's not motivating, if it's not training or educational, if it doesn't solve a problem or answer a question, no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to those things. Challenge yourself. Be your own creative director. Every marketing agency in the world has a creative director, and their job is to look at the marketing pieces and say, does this answer the question, solve the problem? Is this entertaining? Is there something about this that's going to grab people's attention? Is it simple and easy to understand? When I talk about attention span, one of the most successful marketing campaigns in the history of marketing, every marketing school in the world learns this one, and they think it's just one of the most genius ads in the world, and it's got milk. The billboards that say got milk. Why? Because as you're driving home, why is it a billboard? Got milk? Because as you're driving home, what's the one thing you always get home and say, oh man, I forgot the milk? They're actually reminding you, which is a nice thing for them to do. They've actually solved your problem. They've reminded you, and it makes you grow an affinity to the local dairy association that came out with the got milk ad. So it's only 2 words. Right? We didn't have to have some long dissertation. It was just very simple and clean. So be your own marketing director. Again, a marketing mastery will help you think like a marketing master. It's the way you think that starts to change. So that is what we've done so far as we get into content that converts. And yes, I can knock this out. Right now, Jeff's saying, how's he going to knock this out? But I got you, because I talk fast. How we got here was first, I wanted to show the sequence of success. And this is really the end game. The end game is where you start creating the actual content that has been proven to create revenues in a quick fashion. But you can't create this content unless you know who you are, what you stand for, what are you wearing, what are your colors, why are the colors, what do they signify? What is the background? What is your average sale price? What are your marketing objectives? There's so much that you can cover, and we get to do that in a 16-week course. That it really will organize your thoughts. This will not be overwhelming. Right now, I think a lot of you are saying, gosh, this is kind of overwhelming. It's really not. It really is a pretty clean and simple way to do it. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I actually want you to consider finally creating a solid marketing game plan for you, your team. That means your yard signs, your business cards, your Facebook profile, all of it's going to be consistent. It's going to be cohesive. It's going to make sense. You're not going to have 5 different fonts. If everybody takes out their business card right now, right, or looks at their digital business card, count the number of fonts, including National Association of Realtors, your brokerage font, your font. I bet you there's 5 to 6, and there really should only be 2 or 3. Why is that? Because consistency and cleanliness and ease of use. Our brains can't consume that. We get into that kind of minutia because it's important, because psychologically it's that important. When you go to the grocery store, why is it that all the kids' food or the kids' cereal is on the shelf that would be for about, a child's height? And then why is the Nutri-Grain and all the granular, like healthy fiber stuff at the very top shelf? Okay, everything is conditioned. If you want to understand about conditioning, go to Vegas. They're ridiculous. There's 20 ways to get in. There's no ways to get out of the casinos. So we need to be the same way with our marketing. If you're not thinking like that, you're missing a huge opportunity, and you'll make a lot of money, and you'll become that realtor that everybody goes to, and you can't figure out why. That will start to become you. I don't even know why I know I'm going to get business today. Somewhere, somehow, it might be a realtor. Thank you. I service all of Ohio and Pittsburgh. See, unapologetic, right? That's what I want you guys to be, and you're going to get that through marketing. So the first thing is listing showcases with personality. Guys, I am tired of seeing people do home video tours and they're not in the video.
Oh gosh, what a mistake.
You got to be in the video. Now there's plenty of ways that we go over that you can be in the video where some people don't like the way they sound. They don't like the way they look, things like that. You're able to just video, and maybe you're flipping on a light switch, but your clients want to see that you're actually in the videos. And here's one of the things that's going to start happening. Our house has been on the market 60 days, Greg. What are you doing to sell our house? If you're not in the video, they don't think you're actually doing anything. It's kind of hard for that argument to stand that you're not doing anything to sell our house. If you did this really fun video, rolled up on a scooter, you're going through the house, you're trying to grab people's attention, utilizing these techniques that we come up with here. But be in there, be the personality of the show. It's kind of like watching Friends. Oh God, I'm dating myself. Sorry. Any sitcom where it's just the set and there's no actors, there's no Joey, there's nobody there, no Monica, no Chandler, nobody's there. Nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see a tour of the studio. I want to hear your voice. I want to see, don't sell me just the house. Sell me the experience of living in that area. I mean, do your job, realtors. Like you're selling a home, and that home is a certain distance from a park or what have you. Talk about the park, and does it have roses? Does it have this or that? Really go above and beyond and start to communicate. Be in there. So if you want to make money stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your money creating videos where you're not in the video. Please, please, please be in the video. Does it take a little time and effort? Yes, it does. Will it pay off huge? Yes. Can you imagine what the other neighbors think when their realtors weren't in their videos, but you were? You start to become famous. I mean, basically, you're using those homes as studios to promote and market your brand and your business. It's almost as good as a sold sign in the front yard. Obviously, that's the #1 marketing tool in the entire world, is going to be a sold sign in the front of somebody's house, right? But beyond that, utilizing the house, walking through it, saying, I just sold this, and taking that video and distributing across all the media channels, that is going to be an incredible way to win. So just one quick example. I won't be able to hit all these examples, but these are some past clients that are doing very well in video right now.
A lot of downtown homes, because they were built many, many decades ago, don't have what everyone loves, which is main floor primary living. So you do have a primary bedroom.
Guys, anybody can make this. This is with her iPhone. But she's in the video, and she talked about. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the hook. She opened with the hook, visual audio hook there.
Yeah, beautiful. And this is what we're going to learn in classes. This is somebody that literally just took my last series, my marketing mastery class.
Happy Saturday, friends. It's Holly31 here with Foundation Realty. I'm having a great Saturday. Don't forget, Apple Lumpkin is happening this weekend.
You know what I love about this? What I love about this is Her audio is bad. She's never done this before. She's brand new. She never had any of this. And now she's done a bunch of these and already confirmed she's got, I'll say 2 confirmed kills. 2 people have called her and said, you don't know us, but my wife was watching you and we were wondering if you could come out and list our house. So this does work, even if you don't have the microphone perfect yet, even if your lighting isn't great. Now, what I love is how close she is in composition. She doesn't have the script down perfectly. That's okay, because she's moving towards perfection. Your first videos are going to be bad, and that's okay, because they're still effective. So I love that story, because literally she has 2 sales from this, which, by the way, paid for her marketing mastery class. So now she's good to go. And here's what's cool. She's created an asset that doesn't go away. This is on her YouTube channel. The YouTube channel doesn't go away when you stop creating content, right? It's still there. People can still research you. So when you prospect and say, I'd like to come list your house, first thing they're going to do is Google your name. Google owns YouTube. Your YouTube videos will show up. They're either going to fall in love with you, or they're not going to like you at all, and they'll just cancel on you. But no, they will appreciate that you put yourself out there, so you're not a stranger anymore. They're going to feel connected. Have you guys ever felt connected to somebody that was on YouTube or something, and you thought you knew them or they knew you, but it's only because you were watching their videos? They're like, oh, wait, you don't know me. I know you because I've been watching you and all the videos you've been putting out there. The second one is local expertise through micro content. You want to be the local expert in your area. Short form videos, 15 to 60 seconds about school zone. Maybe there's a speed change, maybe market stats, the absorption rate in condos in downtown Cleveland. That's a hyper local micro content fact. And those are the kind of things that absolutely do work, because you're starting to define yourself as an expert in those areas. Build authority and attract organic local traffic. What we're doing today is I want you guys to get started. Start with short form video. I want to give you the easy stuff. Short form videos, hyper local content that will have a call to action for people to start consuming your content and reaching out to you as the local expert. Here's an example. One of my coaching clients.
Father's Day right around the corner, and I'm putting together something pretty spectacular for all of you fathers out there. And what can be better than picking up a couple of stogies? Nolan's. Yeah.
Okay. He has not done these videos before. This is all brand new for him. And I'm just like super proud of him for creating this. And yes, that's also worked. The reason he was a day late to the Traverse City retreat that we just had, he was a day late to it because he had a California buyer coming in from out of state because he's been watching his videos in Traverse City, and he was out showing properties on that first day. I was like, well, I can't really argue with that. So I was, I mean, I know Jeff would, but I was pretty proud of him. So yet another success story, one after the other. Guys, this can happen to you guys pretty darn quick. I promise you, the Cost of the Marketing Mastery course, that's chewed up and consumed within a second. We go through different inbound lead sources. So we'll talk about all the different inbound, from HomeLight to, is Zillow something you want to hold on to? One of my coaching clients was able to cancel a significant amount of investment with Zillow because they created their own YouTube channel and they started to become their own lead source as opposed to paying for it, outsourcing it. Educational Reels. This is another one that works out really, really well. I want to stay within my time and we're doing perfect here. Educational Reels and Shorts. Break down the buyer and seller FAQs. What's earnest monies, or how does a VA loan work? Create a series. I forgot to finish that thought as far as Landlord Greg. I stopped doing Landlord Greg videos and people literally complained to me about it. Like, when are we going to see another Landlord Greg thing? Right? It's because I started a journey and then I canceled it. Like, I stopped. So stay consistent and create series. We talk about that. We want 3 different content funnels on your YouTube, or really anything you do, but on YouTube, content funnels. Landlord Greg, Coach Greg, Realtor Greg. Those are 3 different funnels. And in each funnel, you can create series. So Tuesday's tips or what have you, stay in that series so that people can become comfortable with what aisle they're in the retail store, right? If I walk down the produce section, I know what I'm going to find at the end of the produce section. More produce, right? So make a series. That's absolutely something we want to do. And education is a great way to start, especially if it's within your brand. This is just a fun one from Andrew Pepper.
The beauty of working with a buyer's agent in Florida, the overwhelming majority of the time, it doesn't cost you anything. So what's that mean? When you hire an agent.
Guys, this stuff does work. It does work. Andrew Pepper is absolutely one of my coaching clients. He's also been extremely successful driving traffic his way. You can see he's reading a script. You can see there's opportunities of improvement, but you can't have perfect until you get started. You've got to start creating imperfect videos and then get going. The next one is behind the scenes and authenticity clips. Let people know what it really looks behind you. Like, get the behind the scenes stuff. People love that. Why? Because everybody has a sense of voyeurism in their own mind. They want to know what people are really like. They're tired of being lied to by 1980s and 90s commercials, and it was all just staged, and people really appreciate it. I think it all started, I'm going to show my age again, with the Real World, MTV Real World. Right? What was that? That was like, oh, I get to go behind stage. I get to understand who these folks are. So authenticity clips, show what it's like prepping for showings, doing inspections, show them the imperfect stuff. If you can't get the yard sign in the ground and you're struggling with it, or use a mallet, show them that. Show them the dead bird in the attic. I mean, like, have fun with it. God rest its soul. I mean, do something fun with that. Get their attention. This is an example. You can always go to the YouTube channel of Jeff Glover and the Glover Agency.
Welcome, everybody, to the 8th annual Glover's Heroes Golf Outing. We have
lots of things going on here. What Jeff's doing is showcasing his philanthropy and his brand. They give back to the community. What I'm going to want you to write down right now is, if it didn't happen on social media, it never happened. This golf event never happened if he didn't make a social media post and put it out there. So guys, if you're doing something, make sure you document it and distribute it. Client testimonials are huge. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I did the 5-star review program, which Taylor Kerrigan teaches, and it changed our business forever. We are now the most reviewed, most 5-star reviewed team in Northeast Ohio. Before that, I was a 3.2 with about 22 bad, like, random reviews about one of my agents' mom had an Airbnb and they were complaining about it. So, but what's better than that, in my opinion? Video testimonials. Not in my opinion, but it's the content that is converting right now in today's market.
Hi, I'm Gloria. I am from New York, and I met Andrew Pepper through my brother.
Okay, there's just more validity when it comes to that, right? It's just, okay, this is a real person, and she's going to tell her story. And as Jeff has taught us, and Taylor has in the 5-star review program, the testimonials you want are the ones that are trying to help you achieve the marketing objective you have. So if you want to do luxury homes, get a luxury testimonial, and that's the one that you want out there, for example. Finally, the video call to action. This is the last content that converts. Call to action. Video call to action is every video with a soft call to action. DM me for a list of homes under 500K. Or if you want a tour, let's chat. Share with a friend. One video won't make you rich, but a library of authentic, helpful local content will. And just to throw out the sexy stuff, I always like to throw this one in here.
We will be discussing how realtors can utilize AI technology to educate home buyers and sellers. Artificial intelligence, or AI for short, has been revolutionizing various industries, and real estate is no exception.
All right, so the reason I just showed you that one is that's not me, that's an avatar through HeyGen. So what you can do, and what we'll talk about from class number 1 to class number 16 in Marketing Mastery, we'll talk about developing a brand all the way to the end, where you can create an avatar, go to ChatGPT, have a search engine optimized script created, cut and paste that to the avatar, and the avatar will create the video for you. Literally everything from beginning to end. You can use AI today to help you generate and create tons of wonderful content. There's so many ways that they've implemented AI and into video content creation. We'll go through all of that. Sorry, you froze a little bit, so my brain snapped a little bit there. So there's more demand for video than there is video to share. I want to leave you with that. And the final, I think I'm going to stop share after this. Text marketing to 55444 if you have any questions about the class itself and about anything that you'd be interested in knowing more about. And I hope to see you. The classes do start. I'll let Jeff do the.
Yeah, Greg, we got one thing I love about your program. It's really the only one, because we get asked all the time. You know, Glover, you guys teach so much in sales skills, so much in prospecting, so much in building a big business. Do you have any programs that touch on AI? And I know yours is like the only program that you actually utilize AI at a high level for marketing. So if they want to spend 16 weeks with you, we have an option to do so. because at last check, I believe your one-on-one schedule is full. So this is like the only way you get an opportunity to work with Greg for 16 weeks. They can spend for 1 hour per week. It's a live Zoom, the opportunity for Q&A, which I know because of the type of content, marketing and video, there's probably a lot of questions, Greg. How do you handle those in your course?
Yeah, well, we're creating a community. So we practice what we preach. So the questions that they have, not only do I share it, but if you join Marketing Mastery, we have a private Facebook group where everybody that's on there is truly defining and building their business around marketing funnels. They'll answer questions, we'll share ideas,
Yeah.
put out our bad videos and kind of help each other. All the questions are answered, typically one-on-one. We do have a Q&A at the beginning of each class. But we also have an ongoing relationship, and we've built a community of marketing masteries. Honestly, if you're sick and tired of just thinking about having a true marketing plan, does your buyer's guide look the same as your yard sign in your YouTube channel? Oh, wait, you don't have one. If you're tired of that and you actually want to finally get it going, spend 16 weeks with me. And you will have 100 subscribers in a YouTube channel with good quality videos already posted at the end of that class. That's what
Well, that's the other thing I love about your program. I know you don't just touch on video. For anyone that might be intimidated by video, I believe maybe 4 of the 16 sessions are dedicated specifically to video. So that means you still have another 12 sessions where you're going into, developing a brand identity. How do you choose a brand? What does brand even mean? It's not just, I know obviously today's webinar, we focused on video and that's a portion of your program, but everything from start to finish, when you think of being a strong marketer in real estate, what do I need to do to generate more business through marketing? That is answered in this 16 weeks with Greg. Even if you're not ready to sign up, but you just want your hands on the flyer with all the details of what we cover, just text the word marketing to 55444. Again, even if you're not ready to sign up, it'll at least get you your hands on that flyer. Text the word marketing to 55444. It'll give you all the details of what's going to be covered. And Greg, these start the week, I believe the week of July 14th. So it's right around the corner after the holiday. And I know there are by now hundreds of testimonials of people who have been through your marketing mastery, who have built a big brand in their market and are generating consistent business, not just right away after taking the program, but for years following it. And I know, just like with any of our programs, we're always updating our content to stay ahead of the game. So one thing Greg and I did, we sat down at the beginning of this year and we made sure for 2025 that everything we're teaching as it relates to marketing is ahead of what our competitors are doing. It's fascinating to me because when you come to our events, and Greg, you hear this all the time, people will say, wow, it seems like your stuff is 6 months, 12 months, 2 years sometimes ahead of what I just learned at this conference. And honestly, it's not that we're smart. It's because we're in it with you. We know exactly what we're doing, and we're practicing what we preach, and that gives us an unfair advantage.
There's a cheat code your competitors are using, and I promise you, it has a lot to do with the video and the marketing. And if you're a new agent, you can jump ahead of the old guard realtors pretty darn quick. If you're an old guard realtor, I promise you, if you keep doing the same thing, your results will not stay the same. They're not going to stay the same as AI comes online. We're going to spend a lot more time on AI in this marketing mastery class than the last one. Because it's even giving Google a run for its money. So we're going to be talking about how we can utilize that.
So it's $399 a month to work in a group setting with Greg. Our group programs, we never allow more than 50 to 75 people in the group programs, and that's for a reason, because we want you to be able to interact with our coaches as well. That is the only way that you can work directly with Greg right now, as his schedule is completely sold out. I want to thank all of our Canadian friends for joining us on Canada Day, your holiday. So thank you for joining us on a holiday. And everyone else, I will see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. We're going to continue the discussion. Perfect transition. We're going to go right from marketing into social media. So join us tomorrow. If you're not registered, go get signed up at gloveyou.com/webinar. We're going to continue the summer webinar series tomorrow, and then, of course, next week after the holiday. And I promise, if you need to step up your marketing game, or if you want to build a big business using marketing, Greg's your guy. He knows it from start to finish. You won't be disappointed. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thank you.